Good evening, morning, afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Tabletop Shenanigans Podcast. No other podcast has as many shenanigans as us. Joining me tonight are my lovely co-hosts. He's watched more guardsmen get vaporized by Tesla weapons than he cares to admit. It's Matt.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
Someone please get him to stop looking at the pretty shiny green Necron lights. It's Nick.
Hey, hello everybody.
He's grumpy. He woke up too early from his 60 million year old nap. It's your Necron boy, Bill.
Hey, people.
And as always, your host, Felipe. Today we're going to do what no other 40k channel is doing. We're going to talk about that box. You know the one that'll probably go out of stock within the first hour. The Indominus box. What's in it? What do the losers from the Shenanigans podcast think? I'm sure someone cares what we think. If not, then they enjoy just listening to us bicker and make fun of each other's armies. The AdMech. Let's start with what I think is the better side, the Necrons. So boys, I'll leave it off to you. What do we think about the Necron side?
I think it's pretty dope.
Rip anyone who had old warriors.
Yes.
Rip anyone who has an excess of those stupid green tubes.
Oof.
You know
you just got me twice, and it was pretty bad zingers there. Yeah, I'm hurting. But in all seriousness, Necrons are like looking really powerful, and to top it all off, we have no idea what kind of a monster the Silent King is going to be in the future. But
18 wounds, grip and vuln, 6 different spells, 24-inch movement. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I have no idea. I can't even imagine, like, with just the models and stuff that we've seen so far, like those super awesome, super heavy destroyers, those like monstrosities with those giant cannons on like underslung on that arm. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's comparing Matt to Nick. Matt being the old destroyers and me being the super cool, super fat ones.
Yeah, super fat indeed. I mean,
Yikes.
oh, my bad. But yeah, the heavy destroyers, oh my goodness, they look like so good.
I'm a little afraid.
I want a couple
don't
of
they
those.
outsize the regular destroyers?
Yeah, no, it's not a replacement to destroyers. It's a different model. So like a destroyer has either the heavy gauze, what is it?
The regular gauze.
It has either the regular gauze or the heavy gauze, which acts as like a las cannon. This thing basically is carrying the same weapon, or pretty similar to the weapon that you would have on the Doomsday Arc.
It looks pretty good too.
But
it's a little bit chunky, but you know.
The actual Canoptek Doomstalker does have the same death ray as the Doomsday Arc on its forehead.
I genuinely think that they are replacing anything that has those green tubes. I think there's something behind the scenes to where GW said either those tubes are too annoying to make, they're too expensive or something, or somebody somewhere just said, I hate those things, let's get rid of them. Because if you notice, everything that's getting replaced or everything that's getting a new model is whatever has those little green tubes. The warriors, the destroyers.
Well, I think the destroyers will keep them. I can't tell if these are supposed to be replacing destroyers or not.
No, there's no way. Look at that base. Look at that model size. There's no way it's replacing the regular Necron destroyer.
And
even if you look at the warriors aren't really that much different from the old warriors. It's just a new gun. I think they're a little bit taller, and they just look nicer. But overall, if from far away, if you didn't know what to look for, you could probably mistake both of them as the same model. Personally, that's what I think.
I might agree with you on that. But until I actually see the size of this heavy destroyer, it's kind of deceptive in the picture that they put, because I mean, who knows how zoomed in they are? Because the little tripod, or the new The new turret for the Space Marine side looks huge, but I imagine it's going to be a lot smaller than it looks on the table. So who knows, right?
What do you think? Like Thunderfire cannon size, maybe?
No, it's got a Primaris
Bigger,
Space
maybe?
Marine sitting on it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So it looks like if he's sitting in it, it's probably about as tall as a Primaris Space Marine. So it's bigger than a Thunderfire cannon.
I'll tell you the thing that I'm most excited about is some of these War of the Worlds like walker thingies, the ones that give +1 to reanimation protocols. I
Yeah.
love the look of those things.
Yeah.
I love
they're
definitely.
magnificent.
I love definitely that they're leaning more towards like a very apocalyptic zombie, robots look. I love that aesthetic that they're going for.
Yeah. And that's so that you're just talking about, they do have the one that provides the bonus for reanimation. And then they have a second variant of pretty much the same exact model, but it's called the Doom Stalker, and it has what appears to be the exact same death ray that's on the Ghost or the Doomsday arc right now on its forehead. So it'd be like having a Doomsday arc, but on a model that is probably 3 times the height, so nothing can hide from it. It seems like a good thing for Necrons.
I'm excited. The fact that you can have a 3-up reanimation protocol on Warriors. On top of that, you can have 2 of them. Oh, it's nasty.
And you can have the new, gross, nasty Warriors.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be crazy. And apparently, Canoptic Rays are gonna be a lot better. They were already really good, in my opinion. They're cheap, they're fast, they capture and hold objectives, and they have like 3 attacks base. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Man, I am super excited for that. I am super excited for the Skorepek Lord. I'm excited for the Tomb King. Isn't there a new Catan too?
Sorry, what type of Lord are you excited for?
The Skorpek Lord. I probably butchered the
No, not at all. Not at all. You got it 100% correctly.
It's spelled Skorpek, like SKORPEKH.
I'm sure we'll hear them say the name when they're doing the unveiling of the box set, and we'll know for sure how it's said.
I love one of the things though that I love the most is the crypto thralls. Basically, the little dudes that look like they just took like airplane engines and then made a robot out of them. That's what they kind of look like, and I love the look of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say people have been calling them the little scrap heap robots.
Just like Matt.
I absolutely love them. And then the big dude, the Lord, I love him. He's got it's got that giant gun, the giant weapon, and then the giant claw thing. This is the dude that basically just like one shot at that one sister battle, which that hurt. But he looks.
I thought it was pretty cool.
I love him. Oh yeah, no, it's pretty cool.
What was I gonna say? So what do you guys think about Warriors getting a second option for their regular weapon? So instead of just taking your regular Gauze Flare, you can now take a Gauze Reaper. You go from 24-inch Rapid Fire 1, Strength 4, -1, Damage 1, to the Gauze Reaper that is now Range 14, Rapid Fire 1, Strength 5, AP -2, Damage 1. So you're talking about losing 10 inches of range and still maintaining Rapid Fire.
10 out of 10. Put them in that one that lets you automatically move 6 inches when you advance. Get them, boys.
It'll definitely be hard to see if it's just like you limit that to a single unit that you use the strategy that sort of like type of
jump.
play. Yeah, to jump. Or if that becomes something that people do more often because it's more kill power. Certainly the difference between Strength 4 and Strength 5 is massive against many armies. So we'll definitely have to wait and see on that.
Nice. If you take melee Necrons, you can take melee Necrons and have the Warriors just literally right behind all your fast Canoptic Wraiths, your Canoptic Spiders,
your new Crypto Thralls?
whatever have you. your crypto thralls, and just have a line of warriors. So whatever that doesn't get tied up in combat, you just shoot at it. And it's like I feel like they become like a wall now, right? A wall that just moves forward like a bad Indiana Jones, not the Indiana Jones. You know how in like some movies they have two walls pushing against each other, kind of like that. It's really cool to see. What?
I don't know what you're
like
referencing.
Star Wars? It was the right actor, wrong movie.
Was it?
Are you talking about the walls coming in to like crush you? I don't know how that's analogous to Necrons.
Yeah. Because now
a hammer and
it
anvil.
Feels like, well, yeah.
Except the opposing team is the anvil, and your entire army is a massive hammer.
It's like
that's most melee armies,
anvil.
Right?
Yeah.
I think. Okay, imagine the Necrons as a meteor, and everyone else is like a rock.
Everybody else is a dinosaur.
Yeah, exactly. Whoa, too soon, bro.
Well, you know, just from like the power of things, that's how things look. But at the end of the day, it's all going to come down to point costs.
Yeah, if the Gauze Reaper is going to cost additional points, I personally would not field it at all.
I doubt it.
Depending on, you know, if it doesn't cost additional points, it would be something that I would heavily playtest and then decide if it's something that would make sense depending on the army that I'm playing. So Felipe, that would be a very good example of why I would need to have 80 warriors so I could have 40 with the Gauze Reaper and 40 with the Flayer.
You're insane.
Can we talk about the new monolith? The new monolith is pretty sweet. No one's talked about it yet.
Well, we don't even have a name for it yet. It hasn't been.
I know.
They haven't done anything. They just showed it. That was it.
Listen, I'm excited for it. I'm all about it.
So hold on. Your big out of that big picture, your big excitement happens to be the monolith,
the giant,
not the huge Silent King that is the conqueror of the galaxy, as we know it.
Silent King,
or you know, the dude with the wings and the halo.
I mean, what's cooler?
The spear.
Some organic bits, or a giant monolith? Come on. Dude.
Well, considering you know, the power level of monoliths, I'm a bit more excited for the big, probably melee guy with the flying keyword.
Double shields, yeah.
Because the whole thing with the big guys that fly and hit really hard that have the flying keyword is they have consistently, if my memory serves me well, been really, really ridiculous.
Game changing.
Yeah, think back to early 8th edition with Saint Celestine.
Yeah, Celestine was kind of a monster. Also, Magnus. Mortarion.
I already made that joke. Listen, I already made that joke way earlier. Did you not catch it?
So, but listen.
Did you?
Oh, okay.
Wait, what?
I said
the Silent King is going to be like
Silence.
Magnus size, and then take like stat buffs of Gilliman. I bet he's going to cost like 500 points.
They're very heavily leaning into every army having a Magnus, a Morty, a Gasgul Thraka, a Mortarion. You know, they really want that in every army. What? He's a freaking beast.
Yeah, but he's not a Primarch.
Hey, he's a Primarch in his own right.
He takes 4 phases to kill.
Yep.
That's true.
He takes 4 phases to kill. He also takes exactly 0 phases. He has exactly 0 phases to impact the game because he never gets to it.
Listen,
I don't have the Gazgul talk again. I've argued with Alex up and down about that.
Is he still arguing about him being useful?
No. I mean, back when Gazgul was coming out, I never had a good thing to say about the model because I just didn't think the survivability was worth, not being able to kill the entire enemy army if they leave it up. Because he can't do that. All the other big dudes can do that. Magnus could kill your whole army.
Oh, absolutely. I hate that, dude. I hate that red F or whatever you want to call it so much.
Chicken boy.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Big chicken boy.
It's all Magnus's fault.
Hey, he did nothing wrong.
He
Whoa.
did absolutely
This is
so
not a
much
lore
wrong.
podcast. Anyway, so,
Not a lore
looking at
podcast,
this
but
picture,
Magnus did so much wrong.
But
we see
also,
that
I'm just gonna point this out because it's probably the least talked about model that's been released. But the new Scarab Swarms actually look pretty good.
Oh, I love them.
They actually look like pretty neat. They did a pretty good job.
They are adorable. They are so adorable.
I'm pretty down for it. I'm ready for
I'm
some
also pretty
Stripper
down
Swarms.
for it. I'm telling you, Canoptic Race are going to be pretty good. They're cheap.
Are they gonna fix the one problem with monoliths, and that is that they just suck?
No, probably not.
I mean, if they're releasing 2 big dudes for Necrons, because it looks like they're releasing 2 big dudes.
One of them will probably be a new Catan or a Catan-esque model.
Yeah, whatever it is. It looks like there are 2 big dudes.
Right.
They don't really need to make monoliths good, because monoliths were like Necron's big dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd be okay with making monoliths good again, because they were good. They were very good once upon a time.
Yeah, instantly
But
killing
Let's
whole
make all
units.
Necrons good. Let's just make all Necron models
I think they already did that. I think that's what they're doing right now, actually.
Yeah, they're currently in the process of that. We don't even have the new rules for them yet. Like, we're still, before this comes out at all, we're going to get a whole new rule set with all new rules for the Necrons. And
There's only one rule in 40k, and if it looks cool, it has good rules.
Yeah, tell that to the Storm Surge.
Yeah, hold on.
That's not a good model.
Let's look at
That's not a cool model.
let's look at some very cool looking models, guys.
The Landspeeder Storm, I think, looks really awesome.
Ugly. Just a big box.
Except it's a what?
Just a big
Landspeeder
box.
Storm is actually like the coolest. Like, I think it's the coolest transport in the game.
Yeah, it
Like,
looks
unironically.
awesome.
Land
Yeah.
Speeder Storm.
One of my favorite things
It's
to do
literally-
is
okay,
if you
sorry.
buy the Landseeker Storm and you take the Scout Marines off, they make awesome models. Like, if you pose them sitting on like walls and stuff like that, like something Scouts would do in their free time, it makes really
Sorry.
awesome modeling.
Yeah, a couple of them.
Landspeeder Storm looks like copyright.
What?
Looks like the land speeders from Star Wars.
It's literally just a regular land speeder, but there's scouts on it. What do you mean it looks like it's from Star Wars?
Am I looking at the right thing?
Probably
Oh.
not.
No, I was looking. It pulled up.
Phoenix,
up Star Wars.
I'm
Landspeeders.
gonna ask you, and I will tip you for this. I'm gonna need you to like put a tally in each one of our podcasts every time that Nick either gets something wrong or says something stupid. Just keep a tally of it. Yeah,
Dang. Really doing
and then
them
we'll
like
just go
that.
from there.
Approximately
Because I looked
1
up
billion
Landspeeders,
errors
it
so
gave me
far.
the Star Wars one.
Why didn't you look up
Good
Land Speeder
lord, dude.
Storm? Because that's what we were talking about.
Good lord, dude.
Listen, doesn't look good. It's bad.
Well, it's an old
I mean,
model,
come on.
but like if you, like looking at transports as a whole generally look kind of bad. But I think
I like Guardians.
you like what?
Guardians.
What's a guardian?
The Eldar.
You mean wave
the
serpents?
Eldar transport. Yeah.
I think wave serpents look terrible, to be honest.
That's another one. Phoenix, be sure to add another one to the tally.
Wow, you really doing me like that?
Dang, we're really doing them dirty.
No, transports are ridiculously useful. Just ask Maddie about impulsors. They're so freaking useful.
They are. That's why I
for you guys
own 2 of them right now.
Yeah, I know. All right, so
Yeah, but how many Rhino chassis do you have?
Actually,
I can't say. There's still, as soon as somebody guesses, I'd be more than happy to tell you how many Rhino chassis I own.
So I got a question for you guys. What do you think? What do you think is missing? What do you think we need? What else is needed from Necrons?
Needed? Nothing. Absolutely nothing at all. Necrons do not need anything. What else do we want? We want the Silent King, and we want him now.
No, I think what we need for Necrons.
well, let's kind of go through what they got so we can maybe see if there is something that has been added, right? So we know they've gotten fast melee units. If the little kill bucket dudes, the
Three-legged
crypto
destroyers, yeah.
thralls or whatever. Yeah, and then we've got the big melee dudes that we know they've gotten, the big destroyer guys. We know they've gotten good, tall, anti-tank stuff in the form of the big War of the Worlds guys. They've gotten low to the ground, easy to like hide anti-tank in the form of their big chunky boy destroyers. They've gotten really solid medium and short range troop choices. And it looks like they're getting nothing but good characters. Right now, the only thing they need is the monolith to be good. And then I think their army will have everything.
Yeah, so better monoliths once again.
Maybe not better monoliths. They might have too many options. GW doesn't like armies having lots of options.
Unless if you're Imperio.
Orcs have so many.
Yes, of course.
Orcs have like at least 3.
You can take Big Mech.
Or
in mech
Big
armor.
Mech with
Shock
shotgun.
attack.
Big Mech and War Buggy. Or
You can't
Mech
actually.
and Stompa.
You can't take those.
Oh, never mind. I'm sorry.
Listen, you can take either a boy with a pistol or a boy with a gun.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Or a boy with T5 or boys with S5.
And weirdly enough, knobs, even though they have more weapons choices, you can only take one thing. It's so weird.
There you go.
So,
You can take 3 things.
The only thing really on the wish list for Necrons is just that the monoliths becomes not poopy anymore. Because right now it's basically in like the meme-ish kind of side of 40k as to one of the worst models in the game.
Oh,
point
I
for
told
point.
you what I want. I want the Silent King, and I want him now.
Oh
We
my
already know he's
God.
coming, you
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
It's
want
not
him
confirmed.
now. It's my king, and I want it now.
If Maddie's like the equivalent of like that King George kid from like YouTube, the kid that just starts crying the whole time because he wants certain things, that's basically Matt, but in 40k.
Okay,
What are you
you
talking
can
about?
tell me that it's not confirmed yet, but the little booklet that comes in the box is called The Edge of Silence. I mean, come on.
It's a
Like,
red
you
herring,
couldn't-
dude.
Yeah.
They're trying
You
to
couldn't-
to work up hype. They're
You
trying to
couldn't
build up
throw
hype.
it in my face.
They're not gonna release them all for like another 10 years.
Yeah,
You
Matt,
know
what they're gonna
If
do
it takes,
is
if it takes 10 years, I'll wait 10 years. I've been here for 10. I'll stay another 10.
that's customer
By then-
loyalty right there.
Yeah, by then, maybe
Right.
somebody will be listening to me, so it'll have some impact when I say something like that.
Yeah, you'll be one
Are
of the
there
3
any-
remaining 40k players, and you'll be a
there
part of the
any-
council.
Are there any
I'll-
models that
Please don't say that.
Are there any models right now that are in a oh god, what is it called?
Fine cast?
Crappy resin crab.
Yeah,
that
all
needs to be updated.
All the Catans are in fine cast, which I think that's what you were looking at. Those bigger models, I think they're going to probably end up redoing the Catans to make them not fine cast, and then currently heavy destroyers, not the new Loke Curse heavy destroyer, the new one that they've previewed for us.
Chunky
But
boys.
The current heavy destroyer that's just a destroyer with a las cannon on his arm, a strength 10 las cannon on his arm. His weapon is fine cast. That's it. That's like the only fine cast in the whole lineup.
The destroyers, they're not their kit, but like heavy destroyers.
That's
are
what I was just
fine
saying. Their
cast.
arm. I
Oh.
just got done saying that. All right, that's another
I
tally.
I wasn't listening, sorry. My bad.
The flayed ones, aren't they? I've read so many comments about how the flayed one models are terrible.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Talk about
forgot
the
blade ones were a model. Forgot those were a thing.
Well, they might make those guys good.
No.
I mean, they're not bad. It's just their models are bad.
It's like a super niche kind of thing because you have to buy a whole lot of flayed ones to play with like an old melee army, and it's still not great.
Well, you may not need to anymore with these new melee destroyer boys.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it looks like they're leaning more towards diversity in the Necron line. It won't just be a shooting gun line that also moves forward towards you.
Of course. As the Silent King always said, diversity is our strength.
Well, actually, as the Silent King, he actually said,
Good one. That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
But then he also said,
See, the best part about that joke is it gets funnier each time you do it, you know? It's just like, man.
No, it doesn't.
I'm not done yet. He's still talking, bro. Kind of rude.
Oh my god.
I've always just imagined that Necrons don't talk. Every time I hear Necrons talk in like the videos and stuff, it kind of like throws me for a loop. Like I just assume that Necrons don't speak. They just like communicate telepathically or something like that.
The average Necron does not talk.
And like when you enter a battlefield and Necrons the other side, all you can hear is the march of 1,000 footsteps and like hissing green gauze weapons flying across, or like the coiled up Tesla as it rips across the battlefield, but not a sound like when their men die or anything. That'd be just the most horrifying thing to watch walking across the battlefield. These things that don't feel pain and don't say anything, showing no emotion. They're just mercilessly destroying everything in their path.
Yes, I also fear Tyranids.
No, Tyranids
Make
like
a lot of
emotion
sound.
Yeah, they have like
Yeah.
they almost sound like little babies. Like,
Have you played in Dawn of War? They make a T-Rex noise. The giant carnifexes, they make giant T-Rex noises, and it's pretty freaking amazing.
have you not seen Stormship Troopers? Those things are like always yelling.
All right.
I mean, that's basically guards versus Tyranids.
Stormship Troopers.
Yeah,
Stormship
Troopers. My favorite franchise.
Sorry,
did he really
Troopers.
say Stormship Troopers?
100%.
Yeah, I made fun of him.
I'm sorry, but Starship
Lord.
Troopers, yeah. I mean, it's
Next,
basically.
we talk about the guard, aka Saving Private Ryan. Or is that not a thing?
No, we're not doing that. Okay, everybody, I need you guys to pick what's the Necron model of the box. What is you guys' favorite model?
Necron model of the box?
I want to say the score I picked Lord. He's probably my favorite. Now, World of War Stalker for sure.
Controversial opinion.
Ooh, Phil.
I actually
go
think
ahead.
that the Overlord is the coolest one.
Ooh.
I actually forgot what he looked like. I forgot he was in that.
I'm gonna have to say that my Necron model of the box is the Plasmancer.
That was my second choice.
Yeah,
the way he's like
he's
floating.
cool.
Yeah,
is so cool.
Yeah, the way he doesn't have a lower body, he just has a spine with like a tail. That's like, that's so interesting to me.
Yeah, I admit
So-
that
His
is a
whole
really
aesthetic
cool one.
is just so cool.
It actually is pretty cool. So it reads that the Plasmancer is a mysterious class of Cryptech, and they're known as Harbingers of Destruction.
Yes,
It seems pretty cool.
this ominous title is well earned, as it happens. Plasmancer is a master in the art of weaponizing the hyper technology of the Necrons.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
AKA +1 to hits, +1 to move.
And it's deadly in melee because it has the little scythe.
The scythe,
The
yeah.
hyperphase scythe, yeah. I'm pretty
I
excited.
am gonna stick with the World of the Worlds walker thingy. I love that thing. I love that
beautiful.
thing.
I do, however, don't think crypto thralls are going to be like a you're going to take big squads of them because the box only comes with 2.
I think
and
they stay with the
pictured-
Plasmancer.
Yeah, I was going to say pictured in the box, they're almost like little bodyguards. So I don't imagine that they're going to be like, it may even be like a whole squad kind of thing. Like they have a bodyguard ability.
Especially when galvanized action by the president.
What do you guys think about the Royal Warden?
What did you say, Nick?
The Royal Warden? I just noticed it. I didn't even know it was its own model. That's weird.
It's probably a bodyguard character.
I think so.
Overlord needs a job done right, it's time to call on a Royal Warden to keep things on track.
It's probably a lieutenant, if I had to guess, a lieutenant-esque character.
Yeah, it may be replacing the Lord because Lords were reroll wound rolls of 1. And Overlords give you +1 to hit. So, which is
It looks
effective with
spooky.
+1 to hit is effectively rerolling 1s. And then the warrior would reroll wound rolls of 1, or the Lord would reroll wound rolls of, reroll wound rolls of 1. So the Royal Warden maybe, yeah, Oof, I know, right? The Royal Warden probably is replacing the Lord.
I mean,
I just don't like his pose. His pose is not my favorite. They give him this heroic looking pose, and I don't think that's very Necron-esque.
Well, the thing is, if
That's
you
just me.
just look at the lower body, it looks like a heroic pose, right? And then you look at
Right.
its horrific skeleton face, and you realize it's a horrific skeleton monster, and that's not a heroic pose. So
Yeah.
I think it's for me at least, I think it seems very like
Menacing.
yeah, very menacing. Because if you look at many of the Overlord models or the Old Lord models, they always have like those grandiose poses where they have like their arm in the air, or they're like raising their scythe, they have the orb, something to that effect. And this one, rather than things going upwards like most Necron models tend to like track up, except like the little mooks like warriors and stuff. He's a character. He has like a confidence built into like his pose. And he has like the downwards going design. I think it's really like off type and interesting to me. I don't know.
The Overlord too. He has that really cool looking thing on his right hand, and it's pointed at the ground. I don't know. The Overlord to me is just the cooler looking of the box, in my opinion. But
it does look very nice.
Everyone is entitled to their opinion, and I respect
I don't
that.
know.
Except for Nick. Nick, you're wrong. Tally.
The Overlord looks like Overlord looks like he skipped leg day.
He
No, he
does.
does.
all
What?
look. Every
What?
one of them
He
do.
does.
They all have chicken legs. Leave
Hold
me
up,
alone.
hold up,
Yeah.
hold up.
Yeah, but if you look at his upper torso area, like how heroic his upper half looks, and then you look at those chicken legs.
Okay,
I'm just
I'm not gonna let you get away with calling the Overlord chicken leg in comparison to all the other Necrons, which are at least 3 times more chicken leg than him. Like,
I think he's
100%.
upset that
no, like,
listen.
like even the Royal Warden, his legs look like significantly thinner than like the thighs
Listen.
on like the Overlord.
We'll let the comments decide this one.
There
Vote
is
now.
no comments.
There's Chase.
Well-
We have our forever fan,
Yeah.
Chase.
yeah,
Yes.
Chase. Chase, tell us who's right. All right, moving on.
Okay.
Oh, wait,
Let's
and
move
John.
on.
Let's
Oh,
not forget
God.
John. John.
Yeah, John,
the
you're my boy. John,
Yeah.
you're my favorite fan.
Chase,
Ooh,
don't
yikes.
feel hurt.
Chase, you're my other favorite fan. Okay.
Oof.
Let's move on to the poster boys. You know them. Everybody knows them. Let's talk about some Space Marines.
Woot
Take
woot.
it away, boys.
Assault Marines. Oh my goodness, I'm chomping at the bit for some Blade Guard veterans inside of a transport. Oh my goodness, I can't
Yes, our prayers were answered.
wait. Yeah,
Well-
honestly, I mean, I do feel like this had to be from us because back when we first started this, many moons
Yes.
ago, we've been talking about Assault Primaris,
Yes.
and guess what we got, people? So we want everybody who's listening to thank us for what we've done for you in the community. You're welcome.
I mean, yeah, it was
Uh,
100% us, and nobody else was complaining about
I'm telling
no
you,
assault
Out of the
options.
five viewers we have, one of them is definitely GW as an entirety.
Oh yeah, like we're actually we
100%.
dictate 100%. So when I say I want the Silent King and I want it now, expect that within the week. Let's
Good
Don't do
Lord.
that.
Out tomorrow.
Lord.
Honestly,
So,
here comes another hot take. I think the Assault Marines on the Imperium side are actually the least exciting thing on the Space Marine.
Get off my podcast. Be gone. No,
No,
I'm
like,
just kidding.
Be
it's just
gone,
they don't have jump
heretic!
packs. So like, what's the point? That's the
Transports.
whole. Okay, no.
Transports.
No, what I'm saying is the whole thing that makes Assault Marines cool is that they have jump packs.
Look, I'm just excited for these guys to be running around with these chain swords, having 4, 5, 6 attacks on the charge, depending on what faction you are, with AP -1 chain swords and 2 wounds apiece. And
They look pretty
they're
good.
going to be a troop choice. You all heard it from me first. Troop choice, Assault Intercessor Squad.
I
I mean, no one. I don't think anyone was doubting you on that one, but
it's pretty logical assumption considering the rest of the makeup of the Space Marine side. They wouldn't like make a box set and not give you a troops choice. That'd be pretty messed up.
yeah. Is this what people felt like when they were releasing Dark, whatever it's called, the other box set?
Dark
Um,
Imperium.
Dark Imperium.
Yeah. It's like just hype.
No.
Yeah,
My-
100%.
Yeah, there were a lot of
Primaris
people.
at the time. It's Primaris. Yeah, people were like, "Oh my goodness, giant plasma guns," and they were exploding with excitement in the brain.
And exploding on once to hit.
Don't roll a 1.
Don't roll the 1.
So I kind of share Phil's cynicism because I want if I'm gonna be taking these boys, I want more reason to take them than just it's a Primaris with a chainsword. Because
So-
right now, intercessors with assault bolters, 3 shots at no AP, and on turn 2 they get AP -1. Like, yeah, it's cool, it's
But
useful,
when-
and I
when
would
do you
run them for Space Wolves.
I have a question. When do you win with Space Wolves? What turn do you win?
Oh, and turn 3.
And then you have AP -2 chain swords.
So here's the problem though. How do you survive that long
Transports.
with models?
Transports.
Yeah, I know, but like if you think about it, there's nothing really protecting assault marines. These assault marines, right?
Transports that can fly and have 14-inch movement.
Yeah, Nick, you haven't gone against
Yeah,
impulsors. Impulsors are amazing.
Impulsors are so good. Now they're going to not have penalties for shooting, so there's a reason to bring the guns and not just the invulnerable saves. Because the guns on them are actually pretty good. The problem
I don't know. I would
was-
probably keep them as cheap as possible.
But the guns are cheaper than the shield.
I'd assume so. The shield is pretty good.
The missile launcher, I think, is the most expensive, or it's exactly tied with the shield. But the heavy stubbers were the cheapest option, or you could go without guns completely for the ultimate cheap option.
Well, if you're going for like an assault Primaris assault army, they probably still won't limit the number of dedicated transports you can take. So you could get away with getting some really cheap impulsors to, do some zone control and move around your assault marines. I can see it.
They did now. They changed the rules for dedicated transports.
Oh.
Now you can have a dedicated transport per infantry unit, I believe. Instead of it, because originally you could have a Razorback for your Predator, which was kind of silly, but they did change the rules a little bit for that and made it so that I think that's what it was. It was 1 transport per infantry. So like bikes don't get you a transport like it did previously in 8th edition.
Oh, well, that's fine. I mean, that's like functionally in like 99% of cases, at least in the current state of the game, that's how you ended up using them anyway. You never had more transports than infantry. Except maybe like Dark Eldar. I don't know.
I did when I played when I was playing as Ultramarines and I was bringing 4 or 5 Razorbacks. I was still only bringing 3 troops, and I was just bringing the Razorbacks.
Infantry or troops?
Well, that's what I was saying. I was bringing 3 troops but 5 transports.
Oh no! Is the rule saying troops or infantry? Because you said infantry earlier, not troops.
Yeah, sorry, infantry. But I was only bringing 3 infantry models in my entire list, and it was the 3 troops choices.
Yeah.
I mean,
when was this though? Was because
8th edition?
Yeah, but when in 8th edition? Because 8th edition has very drastically shifted from before there was a codex, from index time to the first codex.
Space Marines 1.0, not 1.2. So it was pre-doctrine.
Yeah, well, obviously you were taking a bunch of Razorbacks then because that's when Twin Assault Cannon Razorbacks were the thing, right?
Yeah.
But then that's no longer the thing. I'm saying in the current state of the game, that's functionally how transports ended up working. Not then, because that time was very different.
For sure.
Very different game. Functional. Why do I keep saying functionally? It was just a very different game.
I understand. The game's been the same, but it has evolved. The game has evolved to being something more realistic. No, not that 40K is realistic, but you wouldn't bring, as a commander, you wouldn't bring a transport for your Land Raider. You just wouldn't do it.
Well, I mean, if you're using your transports as a gun platform, then you don't care how many you bring if they're your most effective gun platform.
Well, for sure.
In either situation, the list you build, if you're trying to make a competitive list, is a list that a commander would use because it's something that is good at killing people and holding objectives.
Yeah, but it's not fluffy. and I like fluffy.
That is true. Imperial tacticians are well known for being very bad at being tacticians.
That's true.
Unless, yeah.
Just read anything about the siege of Throx in the very beginning. It's embarrassing. You can also, talking about transports, if you want to lose as many friends as possible, just bring like 20 wave serpents. That's how you lose friends.
Bro, no, not anymore. I mean, you got to be a little, you got to be smart about how you bring them. You got to bring lots of troops.
Exactly. And
Dire
then just
Avengers are actually pretty good. But we're not talking about Dire Avengers.
Yeah, no, we're not.
We're not talking about wave serpents. We're talking about a brand new Primaris Lieutenant with a Volkite weapon.
Oh, yeah.
Neo-Volkite.
Yeah.
Because there are new things now.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Either way, it's actually a pretty neat little gun. For each like unmodified wound roll of a 6, it does an additional mortal wound, which is pretty neat.
Especially on a gun. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
Well, because normally you obviously get that on like melee, and that's like a melee thing.
Yeah,
you normally see. So seeing it on the gun is I think it's very interesting.
I agree 100%. And it's going to be pretty dope because he still does have a power sword and a storm shield. So, I mean, why not also have a Volkite weapon just because?
Now,
Neo Volkite weapon.
Yeah, Neo Volkite, very different. Now here's conspiracy I almost said conspiracy Philly. Conspiracy theory time. Maybe, and this is a big maybe, the way that the Melta guys, we haven't even talked about the Melta guys yet. The Melta Gravis armor guys, they look like Gravis armor guys at least.
Yeah, the Eradicators.
Yeah, Eradicators, thank you. Are holding their weapons. Kind of reminds me of some 30k Volkite guys. So we might see like an alternate Eradicator with Neo Volkite weapons instead of Melta ones.
I was gonna say
I thought we were going in the future, but it looks like we're just going back to 30k.
I was actually pretty sure that they did advertise. Now again, speculation. They did advertise that it was gonna have multiple weapon options, kind of like when the Shadow Strike or was it Shadow Spear came out, and you just had Eliminators. Or not Eliminators, the snipers, right? Eliminators.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that's what they're called. They just had the sniper weapon, but when the box set came out, they also had the las fusils, which are awesome. But I believe that somebody had mentioned somewhere that the Eradicators were supposed to have an alternate weapon that wasn't going to be plasma or las or rocket. So
I did not hear that.
Options. This was a long time ago that I heard that, but
it does feel like the way that they're going with most Primaris units is that they want to give you 2 options with most things. I think I've mentioned that in a previous podcast, but it does genuinely feel like everything that they make, they wanted to have 2 options, like an assault or a heavy,
except
or
characters.
Except characters, but I mean aggressors. Just look at aggressors; they have 2 options and things like that. Eliminators have 2 options. Things like that.
Eradicators,
Inceptors.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the little fly boys.
They are not little.
Those
they
guys?
are chunky fly boys.
Yeah,
I'll have you know.
They're big boys.
They're thick.
Yeah. I do. If there's one model that I really, really enjoy, it's a new chaplain. He has a really nice smashing stick and a really cool looking pistol. And the Judicar. I am super curious what this dude's rules are going to be. I have no idea what he is.
I mean, just to speculate, they said Relic Blade, which implies strength 6 overall in melee, which would put him kind of similar to many anti-character characters, which he kind of looks like. He's got the whole Executioner vibe going with him. So we might be looking at like a strength 6 -3 D3 damage weapon on a guy that probably has base 4 attacks, maybe. And then, +1 charge from shock assault, maybe D3 more if he's attacking a character, maybe ×2 strength if he's attacking a character instead of +2, things like that.
That'd be pretty dope.
So the thing though is that right now with like 40k, most characters you don't take him out by like really hard hitting weapons. You hit him or you kill him by quantity of attacks because everything either has a like a 3-up invuln or a 4-up invuln. So what you're banking on is that not your amazing super duper smash hit of like flat 6 damage or whatever to kill it, but you want to like stab it with like 5 attacks that all do 2 damage. That's usually how you kill it. So if he has like multiple attacks, I could see that. But if it's only like 3 or 4 attacks, I'm like, bleh.
Yeah, that's why I said base 4, at least 5 on the charge.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We're starting. They're starting to get to like faction focusing where they're releasing little bits of just tidbits of stat lines. Like we've seen stat lines for the Necron, the new Gauze Reaper. We've
The
seen
Outriders.
stat lines for the Outriders. Yeah, not weapon stat lines, but the actual base model stat line with 4 wounds, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
On the bike. So I mean, I'm sure that we're going to start getting little rule hints and drops here pretty soon.
Yeah. What I'm saying is just speculation based on other characters and what can like generally be, gleaned just like from the experience with previous characters that they've released, like the Master of Executions and stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, one big question though that I have on the Blade Guard veterans, I love them. I think that they're really, really cool looking models and everything.
Sweet.
But my question is like, I don't know about you guys. Do you guys ever take power swords? Because if it's between power sword or any other weapon, I take any other weapon.
I actually like power sword. AP -3 is huge, even in one attack.
But I
play Blood Angels, so I'm already going to be wounding you on 2s anyways.
Okay, on Blood Angels, it's great, but on everything else, you're either wounding on 4s or you're wounding on 5s. I want something with more additional AP, especially as a Space Wolf. I care more about the strength of the weapon than the AP of the weapon.
So just so you know, they do say mastercrafted power swords, which is on other models means it's 2 damage base, which makes up for it at least a little bit. But also you have to kind of consider these guys look like they're wearing some pretty chunky armor, and their main purpose doesn't look to be to kill things. It's probably just to tie them up in combat. And they say they have power shields and not. No, they say storm shields. There we go, storm shields. Yeah. So these guys are probably like 2-up, 3-ups with at least base 3 attacks. So 4 on the charge with power swords. I think that's fine, honestly.
Yeah.
Obviously we'd have to see the points on them, but if they have even just 2 wounds, they're going to be obnoxious. 3 wounds and they're going to be like, it's going to be the most annoying thing like on the table to remove.
They're basically at that point. You're looking at
they're basically custodies.
Yeah, I was gonna say very cheap custodies.
Well,
backtracking just a second to the Judicar. I don't know if you guys actually read the text below it, but it says something about some kind of new item that he's carrying, and it says something about he can use this new item to manipulate time to ensure the death of his quarry. So the Judicar is probably going to be pretty nasty at like killing characters.
Yeah, maybe they just don't get to leave combat.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he gets to attack twice, like once per game, with this massive. It looks like a power sword, but
no. I think it's the hourglass in his hand.
Well, I understand the hourglass in his hand, but I'm talking about like his power sword though. I bet it's going to be like a power sword, but also an eviscerator, just based on its size, which is pretty awesome.
I mean, they specifically call it a relic blade, executioner relic blade. Relic blade is its own stat block, so I think it's going to be closer to a relic blade, which is +2 strength, -3 PT, 3 damage.
I don't know. What if the executioner part is the eradicator or the eviscerator part? So, I mean, who knows? ×2 strength would be pretty dope, though.
Hear me out. They give Land Raiders Primaris keyword to carry Primaris Marines.
Nope. Won't
And
be
we
done.
don't need anything else. We don't need anything else.
Why, we don't need Land Raiders. We already have
Sorry,
the Repulsor.
But I have a Land Raider. It looks dumb not using it.
I'm really confused. Sorry, what's this Land Raider thing you're speaking about?
Yeah. Oh, Land
The
what?
Land Raider Crusader.
Huh?
That's a
Land Crusade. Oh, that's a. I'm gonna need to look.
How
I'm
do
gonna
I
need to
draw?
look that up. 1 second.
I'll tell you,
Uh,
the Land
Land
Raider is
Raider
it's now a piece of terrain.
20K.
Usually, it looks like a
No, I
model that
have
used to be
one.
used. So
I
yeah,
don't even know
terrain.
if
It's
you
what
do.
it's mostly
Oh,
used.
you know what? When
So-
Alex went to Dublin, he said the guy there smashed a bunch of those up for terrain. That's the thing you're talking about. Land Raiders.
That's cruel. That is really cruel.
Just
Yeah, I like those.
I know we're probably running low on time here. What's y'all's favorite model for the Space Marine side in the box?
The
Uh,
Judicator. I'm sorry, he looks good. He looks so cool. I like him. That sword, nice.
once again, I've got
Listen,
a very, very controversial take. At first, I was going to be, a bit of a normie and go with the Blade Guard veterans because the implications behind the Blade Guard veterans
second.
make me so excited for the future. But after further inspection, honestly, I'm loving the Eradicators.
Eradicators
Yeah,
are
oh,
dope,
man.
but I think
Okay.
just I think in the box.
If you say Assault Squad Marines, I'm not going to be happy with
Well,
you.
that's actually my second choice is the assault
Okay.
marine. My number one choice is the Primaris Captain. That is a dope sculpt. Like his his face mask is lifted up, and you can see his respirator and his actual eyes. He doesn't take his helmet off because that's silly. It's combat, and he's got that really awesome shield with the fallen brother now protecting him, which is pretty awesome.
I thought he had a second hand. Oh, wait, no, I'm talking about the Ancient. My bad. Never mind. Ignore me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
no.
Tally another one, Phoenix.
it's
Yeah.
I thought he had a second hand, dog.
Nah.
I'm not gonna lie.
I just think that the whole sculpt for the Primaris Captain is pretty awesome looking.
Yeah, the Captain was definitely my third pick strictly because of what you mentioned with the helmet. It gives me like a real knight vibe.
Yeah,
Which
is what all these models now carrying these awesome like Templar shields. They look really really cool.
I am a
I'm
little
excited.
afraid though, because like, I don't know. Do you think that? So he has a plasma pistol and a power sword, right? And I'm just confused on
Where?
of. Do you not have a? Do you not see the sword in his hilt?
Are you
The sword
are you
hilt?
talking
You're
about the
talking
lieutenant?
about the lieutenant again. You're done.
Oh my god! I'm looking at the wrong. I'm looking at the wrong model.
Phoenix,
Alright,
tally
anyways.
up another one.
Yeah.
Oh,
But if you notice like all of them, not except for you take out the regular assault marines, you take out the bikes, and you take out the eradicators. Everything else like was almost tailored, like with the tabards and everything for Dark Angels,
Black Templars.
the Black Templars or Blood Angels also are known for wearing tabards too and stuff. So I mean, they just all have that like I think that they were almost like, okay, I know they painted up as Ultramarines, but I feel like they were like, yeah, let's give some love to some of the other chapters and give these
I feel like
guys
they had
all
to.
tabards.
I
Yeah.
feel like they had to paint them Ultramarines. Like if they
Yeah.
didn't paint them that blue, I would think just like a crappy knockoff GW game.
No, which is fine.
No,
I
I'm-
understand. Paint it as Ultramarines because Ultramarines are the poster chapter. You know, they're so that's
The greatest
fine.
amongst them.
Nah, but you know, it's fine, and that's okay. I understand, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think they're gonna look awesome in green, and I think they're gonna look really awesome in black and white, and
Yeah.
they'll look pretty good in red too.
And if Alex was still among the living today, I think he'd
Yeah.
really have a lot to say about
Rest
this
in peace,
melee
Alex.
I believe
Primaris.
100%.
Yeah.
Mind
but-
you, he didn't. Alex didn't die.
I
Mind
think
you, disclaimer before anyone asks what happened to Alex, he didn't die.
I do think that we should take a moment though and take a step out of the box. We just need to think outside
Are
the
we-
box.
Oh god, are we gonna
Yeah.
talk about the giant meme that is the other stuff?
Yes,
so
add mech
it's
flyers.
not just that. It's the Doomsday or the Doomstalker, the big otherworldly, not the Reanimator, but the one with the big cannon on its head. So it does the opposite. One heals, the other one destroys.
Oh yeah, I love that thing.
The Heavy Destroyer, the low cursed Heavy Destroyer, and my absolute favorite is definitely going to be the Servo Turret, because my favorite model by far are the suppressors, and that's what it looks like. He just has it's a suppressor × 2 on a fixed turret.
Yeah, 2 suppressor autocannons.
Yeah, and the suppressor autocannon is actually really good in my opinion.
They really slap.
No, yeah, the AP -2 really sets it right over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
AP -2, damage 2, you can't beat it. And then, of course, what I think is going to be great, and other people are harshing on me for, is going to be the ATV.
The goofiest thing that GW has released in quite a while.
Oh my goodness. Paired with the bikes.
Go-kart looking thing.
If it works like an attack bike, paired with those bikes that already have 4 wounds, they're going to be devastating on the field.
Okay. One thing about this buggy. If the Attilan Ridge Runner has more wounds than it, I'm actually going to flip my desk over.
No, it's going to have 6 wounds for sure.
The Attilan Ridge Runner has 8 wounds.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's going to have 6 wounds. It's going to have 6 wounds for sure. Like I said, it's going to be 6 wounds. It's just going to be an attack bike, but it's going to be a little bit. It's smaller than the Ridge Runner. The Ridge Runner is pretty big.
It's really not.
No, it's not.
It's really not.
Not really.
The Ridge Runner is not big.
The Ridge Runner has a base. This does not have a base.
I don't know, dog. I think the Ridge Runner is pretty small though, compared to a Lehman Russ. A Ridge Runner is pretty small.
Okay, well, compared to
a lot of
Lehman
things
Russ,
are.
a lot of things are really small.
Yeah.
Lehman Russ is a pretty good sized tank.
No Space Marine vehicle before now has been smaller, excluding bikes. But even the Land Raiders are bigger than...
I think many Space Marines, if there's a Space Marine sitting up on their bike, I know there's a couple models with that. I think it's taller than the Ridge Runner by a good bit. The Ridge Runner, it is very squat.
It's it's low profile, but it's pretty long.
I think you guys are missing.
I'm literally looking at one right now.
You guys are missing the most important part out of the ATV.
We don't know how big this thing really is. All we're looking at it from a zoomed in picture. We have no. This thing could be.
It's got 2 whole Primaris Marines on it, dude.
It looks like a
2
Mario
whole Primaris
Kart
Marines
cart
with a lot of extra space.
So goofy looking.
So you're
it's
saying
so dumb.
You would never use it, Felipe.
No, I don't care how good it looks. It looks like a go-kart. It's so goofy.
I cannot wait to have it in a battle report and have one of these just wipe away your entire Space Wolf army. And then you look at it and you're like, it's a Mario. And then, and it's just over.
I will say,
you can edit that out if that's copyright.
Mamma mia.
Redacted.
By the way, Phoenix, by this point in the podcast, I'm going to send you 100 memes of this stupid goofy thing, and you can just have them all across the video, because this is the dumbest looking thing that I think GW has made in a while.
I really think that the Vanguard Dreadnought thing still looks goofier than this. I still think the baby carrier is worse.
I'm a little upset the drivers on the left
side. The
warsuit?
warsuit?
You think GW would put them on the right side?
What?
It's a British company. Are you?
They're most certainly dead center, so I don't know why you're complaining.
I think it should be on the right side.
That dude is definitely in the middle of the buggy. I don't know what you're talking about, dog.
Dead center.
I think it should be on the right. I have my opinions, man.
The
Okay.
other thing that really bugs me about it is that
the buggy bugs you.
Yes, it absolutely bothers me. But the other thing that bothers me about it too, besides its stupid, goofy look, is the fact that turret can barely turn. It's not like the Warthog turret from Halo that, it has 360. This thing looks like it maybe has a 60 degrees of turning radius.
That the Warthog has 360 degrees, but it doesn't I know that it can actually spin around, in the game when you're playing, you can spin it all the way around, but the guy's still standing behind it and he can't spin around.
Well, actually, no. In Halo, the the Warthog turret, it's on its own rotating
It's on the
platform.
back base, yeah.
It's not attached to the hood. It's on its own platform on the back that rotates.
Yeah.
The issue with this one is it's on the top. So really, actually, you have like a whole 180 degrees you can work with. You would just have to lean a lot to get to like the far edges of it. It's not really that bad.
Straight ahead until they can jump
Right.
off and crush them with their fists.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Enemies will never be on the left or right side of you.
Yeah.
Only in
The,
front.
the only thing that's on your left and right are outriders that are sweeping up
Listen.
anything that you left behind.
Exactly.
Rip that driver's ear. That's all I can say.
I'm pretty sure Space Marine helmets are like noise canceling because
Yeah.
I will tell
they
you,
shoot
look,
very
yeah,
loud weapons.
If as me as a regular person have noise canceling for when I want to go shoot a firearm, I'm sure that in the year 40,000 that's not an issue.
Yeah, but they don't have toasters.
Listen, you say that, but in the year 40,000, they still have wheels. I'm
not
just saying.
everything. Not everything has
Look.
wheels.
Listen, you think, but the ultra. You telling me Space Marine vehicles, the cream of the crop, still has wheels.
Why not? The wheel.
Yeah, they're
is
using
perfect.
old patterns. Also, wheels are
Oh
cheap
my
and effective to reproduce. Anti-grav technology is so expensive.
Yeah, you're thinking
Also-
about you're talking about millions of battlefields across the galaxy. You can't just have everything flying. It's not.
Here's another
practical.
one. Why are the brake lights on the front of it?
Those aren't.
Those are brake lights.
Dude, those
No,
are the-
they're not.
Why are they in the front of it?
Those
Those
are
are
the kill lights. What do you mean? You shine them
Yeah.
red and then you gun them down. What are you talking about?
No, they're definitely some kind of tracer,
They're brake lights. They
APEX,
put the brake
Oh,
lights in
guys.
front of it.
A-specs scanners
No.
or something like
Auspex
that.
No, guys,
Auspex
we've got
scanners.
it wrong. The vehicle is backwards. It's upside down. The gunner is supposed to go the other way. No. I see it.
Look,
No.
I think it's going to be a pretty awesome model. I can't wait to build one. And I'm sorry that you don't feel the same way.
I don't
I'm
know.
okay with
I
that.
think it's a bit too goofy for me. I love it. I really do love it. I like the aesthetic of it, but I don't.
Aesthetic.
Yeah, aesthetic. But I don't know. If I could have one of those things painted in my Dark Angel screen. I don't know if my body would be able to handle
Well,
I will
bad
take
karma.
one in red.
That's fair.
I'll tell
What
you
type
one
of-
thing
what
that I'm
type of
actually
shooting?
looking forward to with this thing is I want to see what orc players will make with it. That
Oh,
I'm looking
God.
forward to it.
Grot buggies.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh,
no.
yeah, that'll look good though.
That's about the only good thing about this model. I can't wait to see that.
I
How
do.
orc players
one of
are
my,
actually going to make
one
something
of my
cool out
favorite
of it.
things is people were like, I remember seeing it. People on Facebook were making small complaints to GW. It was a pretty small complaint, but everybody's been asking for Primaris Tech Marines, and GW finally produced a Primaris sized Tech Marine.
Indirectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they stuck him on a turret. But he definitely has the Tech Marine badge on that right shoulder,
Which means
which means he's a Tech Marine.
yeah, no. Well, what it means is that you don't need the legs. You can just use the upper body and do whatever you want with it.
True.
Then who would write the turret?
But there's no rules for it yet. But you could theoretically
Yeah,
now
yeah.
make a Primaris Tech Marine.
That is true. That is
If you,
definitely
you
true.
just you buy the what's his name, the guy from the Iron Hands, and you buy this kit, and then you just slap them together so you have regular helmet without the specialty.
I don't know.
And,
I think you get some
yeah.
Forge World Tech Marine stuff and do it with them. I don't know if
Yeah,
you need
but-
to get the big boy.
Yeah, but they'd both be Primaris scale in that way.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, they would scale well. We'll put it that way. But I do really like that turret, and I think it's going to be a good price point for the weapons that it's equipped with. Plus,
Okay.
it just calls it a heavy weapons platform, so it's probably have other turret options as well, which will be pretty cool.
You guys ready for the
Alright.
plasma option?
I probably wouldn't take the plasma option, but a heavy bolter option if it was dirt cheap. would be something. It's probably going to be in the fast attack, like the tarantula or the what is it called? It's not tarantula. Is it?
Yeah, it's tarantula.
Yeah, it's tarantula. Yeah, the
Those are
tarantula
fast
right
attacks?
now. Yeah,
I thought those were in heavy support.
no, they're either fast attack or elite, but I think they're fast attack because they're supposed to be like forward deployed turrets. Like they just drop them into the battlefield and there they are. They were. I know that they were one of the best. Like if you're trying to make a brigade, you just.
With all the time that we got left, Nick, do you want to start talking about the updates that AdMech got? Nick, are you there?
I'm not getting baited. You can't bait me.
So that's all the time we got for today. As always,
But
thank
if
you.
you really want to talk about engine wars, no, I'm kidding.
Thank you so much to everyone for joining us tonight. Please be sure to discard our Discord where we got a great list making discussion. We got a friendly painting corner and the hottest and sexiest 40k memes. If you feel so inclined to help us losers post more content, then be sure to check out our Patreon at the Tabletop Shenanigans. Be sure to keep an eye out for a bad rep coming soon. Matt can tell you all about how awesome impulsors are. He's really excited to tell you about that. And this will be the beginning of our bad reps. We'll be sure to try to release more out for you. I'm working very hard on trying to paint my armies and everybody's armies because none of you paint. So
That's what
as
you're
always,
here for.
Yeah, I guess that's the only thing that I'm around for. Signing off.
This is Matthew.
This is Nicholas.
And Philip.
And as always, your host, Felipe. Bye.